floor now on to Ms. Cebi, who is a journalist and producer from Turkey, and she's going to talk about women and girls in science refugees. I just wanted to say that we are very time constrained, and I would request the following speakers to be as brief but get their message across with as much economy of words as possible. Ms. Cebi?
Thank you. I will be speaking as fast as possible. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to the Royal Academy of Science and to the United Nations, to Her Royal Highness Dr. Nesrin El-Hashemit, and to Dr. Helena Dali. It's an honor for me to speak here today. Today, at this special day, I would like to share with you a letter from a woman in science who is at the same time a refugee in Istanbul. Nesrin Tulemat is a young woman in her 30s. She has studied geography and specialized in maps on GPS, Geographic Information System at Damascus University in Syria, and was a teacher for geography for 7th and 8th graders for 5 years prior coming to Turkey. Now she says, I came to this country 2 years ago with my husband and little daughter. I haven't worked ever since I came here. I now am a housewife dedicated to raise my daughter. I have met so many good people in Turkey who love us Syrians and helped us in so many ways. Some of them were very happy to see us learning their language, Turkish, and trying to speak it. But one of my biggest problems is about the people who have negative judgments for us refugees. Mostly, I worry for my daughter's future. Yes, sadly, prejudice exists today even more at a time when we are all witnessing an unprecedented level of human mobility in the world. Nesrin Tulemat is learning Turkish at the Center of Integration for Refugee Women, Women and Democracy Association, so that she could have a job in the future. She is only one of the 3.8 million refugees in Turkey, the leading country in the world today, hosting a large number of refugees, migrants, and asylum seekers. Over 3.4 million Syrian refugees, 1.6 million are children, and over 610,000 are enrolled in school. When I researched about the refugees in science, I could not come up with a clear number. Sadly, there is not any comprehensive survey on this. Today, over 40% of Syrian refugee children remain out of school. Science and technology could be incorporated for the education of these children. Among these people who had to flee the war and escape with their life and escape with their dreams are doctors, engineers, scientists, and many other professions with great potentials to change the world. As His Excellency United Nations Secretary General Mr. Guterres, while briefing his report on making migration work for all, has emphasized, migration is a positive global phenomenon. I believe we should all look at it from this perspective because it connects diverse societies, empowers the economy, and should reduce inequalities. We could make migration a positive global phenomenon by using technology, by using science and innovation. For this, women in science could lead the path for the support to integrate the refugees in science. By creating a community for all refugees in science, a platform in which they could share and express their problems, exchange their experiences, collect the right data and analysis, for the number of the refugees in science, for smart policy choices, and support them to integrate and train them for jobs with temporary educational programs and tests to prove they fulfill the criteria needed by the regulations of the country they reside in, of course, and by encouraging and empowering refugee children to study science. The rule of law to integrate them and to protect them should be strengthened for the benefit of humanity. Today, when we talk about the women and girls in science, inequality of gender becomes prominent. But, thanks God, the world's first humanoid robot is a woman, Sophia, and she became a citizen of Saudi Arabia. This has marked the first time in history that an artificial intelligence device has been awarded such status. Well, I wish the way this country has opened its doors without any struggle for this lady, all countries around the world would have easily opened doors for the refugees, for refugee women. As a television broadcaster, a journalist, I try to cover as much as possible different profiles, success stories from the science world, because I know well that only role models can inspire children, young girls, and boys to dream or to want to become a scientist in the future. Therefore, my humble advice here to the young girls in science is a quote from my favorite poet of all times, Rumi. You are not just a drop in the ocean. You are the mighty ocean in the drop. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.